Alright, this is a test program that I wrote to help simulate what the model ship is going to do when I put a compass chip in it and we give it a bearing. This program does a couple things. One, we have a slider here for target bearing. That's the bearing or the compass heading that we're ordering the ship to, and the current bearing is the ship's current compass heading. The idea here is when I move this target bearing and give it some value, right now we're at a target bearing of 0, which would be due north. The idea here is whatever order I give it, the ship is constantly going to calculate how it should turn the rudder to get the ship to turn towards that bearing, and it will figure out whether it should turn left or turn right to get there the quickest. You'll see that in a second. And it also will control how much rudder it's giving. The further away we are from the target bearing, the more rudder it's going to use, up to a maximum of 20 degrees. And as we get closer to the target bearing, it'll start easing off the rudder. When we get really, really close to the target bearing, it's only going to do very minute rudder corrections. The idea there is we don't want to overcorrect, we don't want to overshoot our target bearing. This will help kind of stabilize things and keep the ship on the course. We can also, at any time, we can drag the current bearing and move the ship. This would be like taking the ship and picking it out of the water and then rotating it, putting it back down in the water. The ship will automatically go back on the course. It'll figure out what it needs to do to get back to that course. So I'm going to go ahead and mess with this a little bit. Let's steer a course. All right. So I just arbitrarily gave it 1240. The red circle represents our target bearing. The blue represents the ship's current heading. You see that it turned to starboard to get the ship to come over to a course of 124. And now I've given a course of 67. You can see that the circle slows down until it gets there. We can also see what the rudder command is. You can see how it's backing off of the rudder, and then boom, amidship once we get to our course. So you can see it knows which way to turn. And if I flip this all the way over here, watch this. It knows to go this way in order to get there faster versus going the long way around. So it always knows how to turn. So even if I cross the circle over, it'll figure out how it needs to get there. Now I'm going to upset the ship. So we're on course of 268. I'm going to move the ship. Doesn't matter what I do, it knows how to get there, right? It'll keep steering itself back on course. So I expect in the water the ship is going to stay on course pretty well. I think it'll keep tracking on the heading that we set, as long as the ship is moving forward. Obviously, if the ship is not moving forward, not a whole heck of a lot is going to happen, and I'll have to think about what we do in reverse too, because that's going to be interesting. I haven't even thought about that yet, but anyway, that's it for this video.